Namaskar. A very cordial welcome to Jokta Academy. So, in the continuation of our quest series, today I'll be taking up the very key and core concepts of the economy. So, today we'll be covering up the budget and the taxation. This is the first part of the budget and taxation. We will cover this in the other video also, the remaining parts of the budget and taxation. So, before that, a quick reminder for you all. As you know, we are starting a batch in our Chandigarh center. So the batch will be started from the 21st April 2023. So you can call on to this number for the further inquiries. So yeah, let's get started. So the first question of the budget and taxation is, the fiscal policy means balancing the revenue collection and expenditure, establishment equilibrium between demand and supply of the goods and services, use of taxation, public borrowing and public expenditure. Then fourth statement is deficiency as an instrument of growth. So the correct answer to this would be C. That means fiscal policy has something to do with the taxation, with the public borrowing, and for that matter with the public expenditure. Okay, in the last class, in our old videos, we have covered the concept of the monetary policy. देखिए हमने monetary policy के बारे में देखा था. Now today we'll be covering about the fiscal policy. ठीक है. So first of all we will see the differences. देखिए monetary policy, what is monetary policy when it comes to the design? That means who designs or who makes the monetary policy? It is the central bank, that is the RBI, Reserve Bank of India. And when it comes to the fiscal policy, who is making the fiscal policy is the government. The government is making the fiscal policy. So this is the first fundamental difference. दूसरा difference अगर हम देखें, it is that what are the things, what are the key areas that are affected by the monetary policy? That means monetary policy जब भी डिज़ाइन की जाती है RBI द्वारा, so RBI is actually focusing on what? The interest rates, one, the money supply, two, and the inflation. These are the key areas that are affected by the monetary policy. Okay, now when it comes to the fiscal policy, देखिए fiscal policy में the things the government is going to give the shape to is the tax, the public expenditure, public revenue, public debt, and these things. So these things are the variables that are affected by the fiscal policy. So these are the key differences. That means the most important, the fundamental difference is that the fiscal policy is designed by the government and it takes care of the taxation, public borrowing, and the public expenditure, right? So answer was the C, option C. Now the second question reads, choose the correct order involved in the passing of the union budget. देखिए, we all know the finance minister, right, usually in the first week of the February introduces a budget, presents a budget. So here we have been asked about the stages of the budgets we see. देखिए, first is vote on demand for grants, passing of the appropriation bill, जनरल डिस्कशन एंड स्क्रूटिनी बाय द डिपार्टमेंटल स्टैंडिंग कमेटी. देखिए हमें इन चार गिवन ऑप्शंस को किस टाइम पे क्या होता है व्हेन इट कम्स टू द बजट, इसको हमने क्रोनोलॉजी वाइज सेट करना है. सो वी विल सी, if we see the chronology of the budget, we will find out that first thing that we generally see is what? The presentation. First is the presentation. हम देखते हैं कि प्रेजेंट किया है, फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर प्रेजेंट करता है बजट को. दिस इज व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट स्टेज ऑफ द बजट, राइट. सेकंड इज द जनरल डिस्कशन. ठीक है जी, जनरल डिस्कशन. दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी यूजुअली डोंट सी बिकॉज दिस इज हैपनिंग इन द पार्लियामेंट, है ना. पार्लियामेंट में द पार्लियामेंटेरियंस आर डिस्कसिंग द बजट वेरी जनरली. सो दिस जनरल डिस्कशन लास्ट्स फॉर 3-4 days. 3-4 दिनों तक वो चर्चा करते हैं बजट पे जो प्रेजेंट कर चुकी है कौन या कर चुका है फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर. द थर्ड स्टेज फॉर दैट मैटर इज the scrutiny by the departmental standing committee. So the third stage is the scrutiny by the departmental standing committee. देखिए, if I put this stage in a very simple terms, so देखिए, every ministry is falling under some kind of departmental related standing committee. So in India we have 24 departmental related standing committees or departmental standing committees, right? Since अभी हम next question में भी देखेंगे, budget is what? Budget is the estimation of what? The revenue of the government, जो गवर्नमेंट कमाएगी और जो खर्चा करेगी, उसका एक estimation है, उसका एक proposal है, जो कि budget कहलाता है, right? So government has proposed something, and the second thing that is government doing by the presentation of the budget is allocation. That means it is very simple to understand. देखिए, the government is allocating the money or the funds ministry wise. Let us say Ministry of Agriculture in the coming financial year will get, let us say, 1000 crore. The Ministry of Education for that matter is getting 500 crore. ठीक है जी? तो वो जो allocation है, that means that is the proposal given by the government during the presentation. अब वो उनको मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा, that scrutiny will be done by the departmental standing committee. वो उसको check करेंगे कि there is a process for this. That means, in short, if we have to analyze this, that there is the scrutiny. That means the money that has been allocated by the government to the various ministries, should they get it and or should they not get it, right? So this is the scrutiny by the departmental standing committee. This is the third stage. Then comes the voting on demand for grants. As I have told you, budget is nothing but the estimation. Budget एक estimation है, अभी पैसा नहीं मिला है. यहाँ पे scrutiny हुई. These departmental standing committees will prepare a report. ठीक है जी, they will prepare a report, and it will be tabled in the parliament. ठीक है जी, टेबल हो गया पार्लियामेंट में, देन देयर विल बी अ वोटिंग. देखिए, पहले क्या है वो, पहले वो डिमांड है, वो ग्रांट्स कब कन्वर्ट होगी, डिमांड्स विल बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू ग्रांट्स व्हेन इट विल बी ड्यूली वोटेड बाय द पार्लियामेंट. सो इट इज द फोर्थ स्टेज. देन कम्स द नेक्स्ट स्टेज, दैट इज द पासिंग ऑफ द appropriation bill. This is the passing of the appropriation bill. The appropriation bill, in very simple terms, is nothing but it is the permission. It is the appropriation, right? It is the permission that the government is seeking from the parliament, right? है ना, क्योंकि budget is what? Budget is the estimation. वो खर्चा कर पाएंगे नहीं कर पाएंगे, it depends on the parliament. That means appropriation is nothing but it is the permission that the government is seeking from the parliament. So this is the second last stage. Then there is also one more stage, that is passing of the finance bill. In the appropriation bill, government is seeking the permission to take the money out of the fund that the government has. Secondly, here by this introduction of this finance bill, government is actually taking the permission to levy certain taxes, right? So this is the difference between the appropriation bill and the finance bill. Okay, so these are the stages. First is presentation, general discussion, scrutiny, voting, passing of the appropriation bill, then passing of the finance bill. Okay, coming on to the question. So first would be general discussion, then it would be this scrutiny by the departmental standing committee. This will be the second stage. Third would be voting on demand for grants. This will happen in the third place. Then it will be passing of the appropriation bill. It will be fourth stage. So the answer is CDAB. CDAB. So this is the correct answer. Now coming on to the next question. Consider the following statements. The economic survey is prepared by the Department of the Economic Affairs under the guidance of the Finance Ministry. Second is, there is no constitutional obligation to prepare or present the economic survey. देखिए, अब हमसे यहाँ पे economic survey के बारे में पूछा जा रहा है. The economic survey is prepared by the Department of Economic Affairs. देखिए, सबसे पहला स्टेटमेंट तो बता रहा है कि इकोनॉमिक सर्वे एक्चुअली प्रिपेयर करता कौन है. देखिए, वी हैव मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस है, that is having 6 departments under the Ministry of Finance. Out of these 6 departments, there is one, a Department of Economic Affairs. That is a Department of Economic Affairs. Economic Affairs, right? Economic Affairs, and under that also we have one Economic Division. Economic Division. We have Economic Division. So this division is responsible for making the economic survey, and it is done, the economic survey, that gives us what the idea that what government has spent. You see, budget से पहले जो document release करती है government, वो क्या होता है? Economic survey. Budget is the estimation for the coming financial year, and economic survey is what the government has already spent in the last financial year. ठीक है जी. So Ministry of Finance, under that Department of Economic Affairs, under that Economic Division, and this is done under the guidance of Chief Economic Advisor. ठीक है जी. Chief Economic Advisor, CEC. So the economic survey is prepared by the Department of Economic Affairs under the Economic Division, and it is done by under the guidance of not the Finance Minister, but under the guidance of the Chief Economic Advisor, CEA. So this is incorrect. Second statement is there is no constitutional obligation to prepare or present the economic survey. This is right. If you see, जब हम budget को देखते हैं, देखिए, the term budget is nowhere used in any statute or any constitution or in the Constitution of India. But you see, there is Article 112 that talks about the annual financial statement. That is nothing but the budget. We call it a budget. In vernacular language, we call it a budget. But otherwise, budget is what? The annual financial statement. That means budget का provision तो Constitution में दिया गया है. But when it comes to the economic survey कोई obligation नहीं है. The government is doing this, for the ease, है ना, कि वो एक position बताना चाहती है government की what they have spent, how they have spent. That is the economic survey. That means there is no obligation on the government that they have to prepare this economic survey and then they have to present it. Right? तो ये कोई obligation नहीं होती. So this is the correct statement. So the answer is only this is correct, B. Right? So this was all about economic survey. Then the next question, find the correct statement. The Department of Revenue is responsible for the preparation of the union budget. No amount can be withdrawn from the Consolidated Fund of India without the authorization of the Parliament of India. Second statement. Third is, all the disbursements made from the public account also need the authorization from the Parliament. देखिए, इसमें हमसे बजट के बारे में कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन पूछी है. If we see, देखिए, as I have told you, economic survey is made by Ministry of Finance, Department of Economic Affairs, and Economic Division under the guidance of Chief Economic Advisor. Chief Economic Advisor. Right? When it comes to the budget, देखिए, what is the process for making the budget? देखिए, हमने stages to discuss कर दिए, हम ये process देख रहे हैं. Again, it will be taken care of by obviously the Ministry of Finance. उसके बाद Department of Economic Affairs, same, that is in the case of economic survey, ये same है. उसके बाद the division will be changed. Division कौन सा है जी? Budget division. Budget division. So this is how the budget is prepared. Ministry of Finance and Department of Economic Affairs is also involved here. Right? That means it is saying that it is prepared by Department of Revenue. No, it is prepared by the Department of Economic Affairs. Right? So this is the incorrect. Second is, no amount can be withdrawn from the Consolidated Fund of India. Right? देखिए, अगर हम देखें about the Consolidated Fund of India, देखिए, in general, the government of India is having the 3 type of funds. One is Consolidated Fund, other is contingency fund, and the third one is public account fund. ठीक है जी. ये 3 मेजर फंड्स होते हैं गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के, मेन 3 treasures of the government of India. The main being the Consolidated Fund of India, that is, it is given in Article 266 Clause 1, it is given in Article 267 and it is given in 266 Clause 2. ठीक है जी, ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में प्रिस्क्राइब किए गए these funds. When it comes to the Consolidated Fund of India, ये this is the main fund that is with the government of India. अगर यहाँ से पैसा लेना है, if government has to take the money from the consolidated fund, they will have to take the permission from the parliament, right? It is what, देखिए fund है, अगर हम देखें fund है, that means इसकी कुछ incoming होगी, then it will have some outgoing. अगर हम consolidated fund की बात करें, पैसा कहाँ से आता है? पैसा आता है टैक्स से और बोरोविंग से. So this is the incoming of the consolidated fund. और ये जाएगा कहाँ को? Where it will go? It will be, देखिए budget is what? Budget is nothing but it is the permission to spend the money from the consolidated fund. Of this is what we have done this as a appropriation bill. Appropriation bill क्या था? Appropriation bill is the permission that is government is seeking from the parliament. So this is that appropriation is basically, we have to filter this now. The appropriation bill is basically the bill that is seeking the permission by the government of India to take the money out from the consolidated fund of India. Right, so this is the main fund. So it requires, as I have told you, you should always remember this, that it requires the permission from the parliament. Parliamentary permission is required. Then come to contingency fund. Contingency fund is the fund that is kept by the president. The president is taking care of this contingency fund, और ये ऐसा fund है that is there for any unforeseen events, right? Emergency time के लिए जो fund होता है, that is contingency fund. देखिए, what is the special thing about this contingency fund? पहली बात तो, do you require the parliamentary approval to take the money of the out of the contingency fund? No. One is no parliamentary approval. Second is who is holding this contingency fund? देखिए, who is taking care of this contingency fund is the president. यानी president वहाँ से पैसा निकाल सकता है contingency fund से. But who is keeping this contingency fund is the finance secretary. It is the finance secretary. ठीक है? So what can we say? That finance secretary is keeping the contingency fund on the behalf of president, and parliamentary approval does not required in the contingency fund. ठीक है जी, ये contingency fund हो गया. Right, then comes the public account fund. Public account fund is the fund of the public, right? This is the fund that is held by the government on behalf of the public. जैसे provident funds इसमें आते हैं, the other investments, the savings, the current accounts, all comes under the public account fund. यहाँ पे भी there is no requirement of the parliament when government want to take the money out of that. So parliamentary requirement, parliamentary approval is only required in the Consolidated Fund of India. Coming on to the question, no amount can be withdrawn from the consolidated fund without the authorization of the parliament. This is absolutely correct. That is, all the disbursements made by the public account also needs the authorization of the parliament. No, it does not require. So parliamentary approval केवल कहाँ पे लगेगी? When the government want to take the money from the Consolidated Fund of India. So that is right. Now the fifth question, which of the following statements are incorrect? हमें incorrect देखना है. Grants and subsidies fall under the capital expenditure. Then money raised by government from the disinvestment is under revenue receipt. So we will see this. देखिए, हम बात कर रहे हैं, as I have told you, budget. Budget is what? It is the estimation. So ये हमने देखा था, budget is what? It is the estimation. Now budget includes what? Budget estimation देता है हमको दो चीज़ों की. One is the receipts and other one is the expenditure. Other one is the expenditure, right? Receipts का मतलब है, very simply, receipt means the income of the government. Government की कमाई is known as receipt. एक तो budget will give us the idea, the estimation that what the government is going to earn in the coming year, right? That is known as the receipts. And expenditure इज नथिंग बट दी खर्चा, सरकार का खर्चा, वो कहाँ पे खर्चेगी. दिस इज फर्दर डिवाइडेड इनटू रेवेन्यू रिसीट्स एंड कैपिटल रिसीट्स. कैपिटल रिसीट्स, ठीक है जी. देन रेवेन्यू रिसीट्स इज फर्दर डिवाइडेड इनटू टैक्स रेवेन्यू एंड इट इज द नॉन टैक्स रेवेन्यू, ठीक है जी. टैक्स रेवेन्यू में ऐसा गवर्नमेंट का खर्चा जो वो कहाँ से अर्न करेगी, बाय लेवाइंग और इम्पोजिंग दी टैक्सेस, है ना. ऑल द टैक्सेस आ रहा है. सो कुछ नॉन टैक्स खर्चा भी रहता है, जैसे फीस, पेनल्टीज, दैट विल फॉल अंडर दिस नॉन टैक्स. उसके बाद कैपिटल. देखिए व्हाट इज द फंडामेंटल डिफरेंस बिटवीन द रेवेन्यू रिसीट, आई एम ओनली टॉकिंग अबाउट द रिसीट. देखिए रिसीट का मतलब गवर्नमेंट की इनकम, रेवेन्यू रिसीट का मतलब ऐसी कमाई जो डे टू डे बिजनेस में government is earning. That means government is levying the taxes, that is government is doing it on the daily basis, that means that is under the revenue receipt. पर एक ऐसा कमाई भी होती है गवर्नमेंट की, that is capital receipt. ऐसी कमाई that is going to create the capital in the future, ठीक है जी. capital means any asset that reduces the liability, right, that is known as the capital receipt. capital receipt में अगर आप देखिए जैसे recovery of loans, अगर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने लेट अस से कहीं पे लोन दिया है, दैट विल कम अंडर दिस रिकवरी ऑफ लोन. देन डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट. देखिए डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट क्या होता है, व्हेन द गवर्नमेंट इज सेलिंग द स्टेक, ठीक है. लेट अस से स्टेक इन एनी बैंक, एनी पब्लिक एंटिटी, लेट अस से LIC. LIC सरकारी एक इंश्योरेंस कंपनी है. Assume that government of India is holding 60% of the stakes. 60% stakes किसके पास है, shares किसके पास है, LIC के, गवर्नमेंट के पास. Now government has decided that they will sell, let us say, 20% of the stakes they are having, they are enjoying in the LIC. That will be known as the disinvestment, right? Government क्यों ऐसा करती है, क्योंकि public debt को कम करने के लिए और एक investment करने के लिए, right? This is known as the disinvestment, to raise the funds. This is why government do this. So this will become the capital receipts. Then when it comes to the expenditure, same, you have, government has revenue expenditure and then is capital expenditure. खर्चा, expenditure means खर्चा. Revenue खर्चा वो खर्चा जो government day to day, this is equivalent to the revenue receipts. Day to day business के लिए जो खर्चा government करती है, क्या खर्चा होता है जी, वो grants, सब्सिडीज, सैलरीज, पेंशंस, एजुकेशनल सर्विसेज के लिए, हेल्थ सर्विसेज के लिए, सारा खर्चा क्या है, डे टू डे बेसिस पे कर रही है गवर्नमेंट. दैट विल फॉल इनटू द रेवेन्यू रिसीट. देन इट कम्स टू द कैपिटल, दिस रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर, एंड देन इट कम्स टू द कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर. कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर देखिए क्या है. कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर गवर्नमेंट का ऐसा खर्चा है that is neither going to reduce the liability of the government nor it is going to create any assets for the government. That is what revenue. यहाँ पे क्या है, this is opposite to revenue, right? कैसे revenue expenditure, what I have told you कि ऐसा खर्चा जहाँ से ना ही कोई asset बनेगा ना ही कोई लाइबिलिटी रिड्यूस होगी. बट कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर में ये ऐसा खर्चा है जो एसेट्स को भी क्रिएट करेगा गवर्नमेंट की और लाइबिलिटीज़ को रिड्यूस करेगा, राइट. कैसे, द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ द रोड्स, कंस्ट्रक्शन, राइट, द लोन्स दैट गवर्नमेंट इज गिविंग टू द स्टेट्स और एनी कंट्रीज, है ना. कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ द रोड, स्कूल, राइट, ब्रिजेस, ये सारा क्या है, ये है कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर, राइट. सो दिस इज द वेरी simple picture of what is actually the budget, what is actually the receipts and the expenditure. So coming on to the question, यहाँ पे आपसे पूछा गया कि grants and subsidies, देखिए under the capital expenditure, नहीं जी, capital expenditure ये है capital expenditure. The grants and subsidies, as I have told you, comes under the revenue expenditure, right? Because it is not going to reduce the liabilities or neither it is going to create the assets. So वो क्या है, grants और subsidies, जो subsidies provide करती है government, that is falling under the revenue expenditure. And then other is, we have been asked that money raised by government from disinvestment is under revenue receipts. No, it is under, we have seen the disinvestment is under the capital receipts. It is under the capital receipts. So this was all. So coming on to the next question. Income tax is the most important source of revenue in India. Income tax is what? Income tax. देखिए टैक्सेस या तो डायरेक्ट होते हैं या इनडायरेक्ट होते हैं. डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस मींस वेयर यू कैनॉट शिफ्ट द लायबिलिटी, जो आपको देने होते हैं डायरेक्ट. इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स मींस जैसे जीएसटी है ना, यू आर नॉट डायरेक्टली पेइंग द जीएसटी व्हेन यू आर लेट अस से बाइंग दिस पेन. So you are giving this to the tax you are giving to the retailer, then retailer is giving that tax to the wholesaler, then wholesaler to the producer, then producer is giving that tax to the government. So that is known as what? The GST, indirect tax. और कुछ direct tax होते हैं, that means वहाँ पे आप liability को shift नहीं कर सकते, like the income tax, the corporate tax. So these are some examples of the direct tax. So पहली बात तो इनकम टैक्स के बारे में पूछा गया, तो पहला तो वी कैन सी दैट इनकम टैक्स इज अ डायरेक्ट टैक्स, राइट. पर उसके साथ भी कुछ पूछा गया है आपसे, व्हाट इज एक्चुअली द इनकम टैक्स. देखिए इनकम टैक्स इज नथिंग, इट इज व्हाट, इट इज द प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्सेशन. इट इज द प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्सेशन. देखिए वी हैव समथिंग लाइक टैक्सेशन सिस्टम. India is following, in India we are following a taxation system. I'm not talking about the types of the taxes we have, I'm only talking about the taxation system. The taxation system can broadly be categorized into three. One is proportional. देखिए proportional taxation. Other one is regressive. Other one is progressive. ठीक है जी, ये आपका प्रोग्रेसिव. ठीक है जी, प्रोपोर्शनल, रिग्रेसिव एंड प्रोग्रेसिव. देखिए प्रोपोर्शनल टैक्सेशन के अंदर व्हाट द पीपल ऑफ द कंट्री इज रिक्वायर्ड टू डू, दे विल बी imposed with the tax. Let us say take the example of income tax only. Income tax लगेगा कैसा? Single rate पे. Single rate means, for example, government is taking the income tax at the rate of 10%. That means irrespective of your income, आपको 10% देना पड़ेगा. If I'm earning, let us say 5 lakhs per year, I will have to give 10%. If one person is, the other person is, let us say earning 2 lakhs, he will also have to give 10%. That means irrespective of your income, you will have to pay the taxes. That is known as the proportional taxation. उसके बाद आता है आपका regressive taxation. यहाँ पे regressive taxation means that it will have the retrograde effect. Retrograde effect कैसे? लेट अस से यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि जो लो अर्नर्स होते हैं, जिनकी इनकम लो होती है, दे हैव टू पे द हाई अमाउंट ऑफ टैक्सेस आउट ऑफ देयर अर्नड इनकम. लेट अस टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस रिग्रेसिव टैक्सेशन. देयर आर टू पर्सन ए एंड बी. ही इज अर्निंग 1 lakh पर मंथ, ही इज अर्निंग 10,000 पर मंथ, राइट. So they both have bought a bicycle. ठीक है जी, इन्होंने bicycle buy की है, and that bicycle is costing them 5,000 each, है ना. सेम कंपनी की सेम मॉडल उन्होंने bicycle लिए, A ने और B ने. But mind you, he is earning 10,000 per month and he is earning 1 lakh per month. So when this bicycle will be taxed, इस पे ऊपर कोई तो टैक्स होगा, GST let us say. So GST let us say is 12%. 12% GST है किस पे? साइकिल पे. So if we see that out of 1 lakh, he will have to pay 12% of this as the tax to buy this bicycle, and he will have to, now he will also have to give the 12% of the 5,000. So if we see the amount of the tax that is deducted from his income, in comparison to the amount of tax that is deducted from here, you will see a difference. देखिए अमाउंट तो एक ही जा रहा है, पर इसकी इनकम से जो अमाउंट टैक्स में जा रहा है that is very less, but इसकी इनकम से a huge amount is going to the tax. So this is known as the regressive taxation. जहाँ पे नुकसान में कौन रहता है? The person who is earning low. Then it comes to progressive taxation. Progressive taxation means this is what? This is the classical example of slab system. This is slab system. That means you will have the slab, the regime. More your income is, more will be the taxation you will have to give, right? Simple. We see in India what? The slab system. That is the classical example of progressive taxation. That means if you are earning, let us say hypothetically 1 lakh, you will have to give 5% of the income tax. If you are earning 2 lakh, you will have to give the 10 lakh. As your income is going up, the tax rate will also go up. This is what? This is the progressive tax, because this is connoting what? The progress. ठीक है, सिंपल सी बात है, आपका ज़्यादा इनकम ज़्यादा टैक्स, राइट. सो व्हाट इज इनकम टैक्स? इनकम टैक्स इज अ प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्स. दैट मीन्स इनकम टैक्स आपकी इनकम पे डिपेंडेंट होता है. ज़्यादा इनकम मीन्स ज़्यादा इनकम टैक्स, राइट. सो हियर द क्वेश्चन इज, under which of the following circumstances may capital gains tax arise? Okay, when there is an increase in the sales of the product, हमसे पूछा गया है something about the capital gains tax, right? Capital gains tax. When there is a natural increase in the value of the property. Then third, when you purchased a machinery and there is a growth in its value due to the increase in the popularity, in its popularity. देखिए, we will see about the capital gains tax. Capital gains tax. देखिए, you are, let us assume that you are holding any capital assets. ठीक है, capital assets क्या होंगे आपके? ज्वेलरी हो सकता है जी, कोई पेंटिंग आपने ली है महंगी सी, ठीक, कोई बॉन्ड्स में आपने इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है, कोई आपने मशीनरी ली है, कोई आपने कार ली है, कोई लैंड ली है, बट दैट लैंड शुड बी नॉन एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड, है ना. कोई आपने कोई बिल्डिंग ली है. सो दीज आर व्हाट? दी कैपिटल एसेट्स. आपने कैपिटल एसेट्स में इन्वेस्टमेंट की, ठीक है. नाउ लेट अस अज्यूम दैट आफ्टर सम टाइम यू विल सी दैट द वैल्यू ऑफ द ज्वेलरी दैट यू आर होल्डिंग एज अ कैपिटल एसेट हैज इंक्रीज्ड. वो वैल्यू बढ़ गई है. द पेंटिंग यू हैव, the value has increased. The bonds, the machinery or land or whatever capital asset you have, उसकी value बढ़ गई है. तो क्या now you are going to sell that? Obviously you will try to fetch the what? The benefit, the profit. आप उसको बेचने निकलोगे, राइट, क्योंकि उसकी वैल्यू बढ़ गई है. जब आप बेचने उसको निकलोगे, when you will sell that, the government is going to levy a tax on you that is known as the capital gains tax. That means your capital asset has gained the value. So as this is also part of what? Progressive taxation. ये भी तो एक progressive taxation ही है. As the value of the asset you are holding, it has increased, तो tax भी आपको देना होगा उस पे, right? So this is capital gains tax. So here the answer would be A, B, C. कि क्या? When there is increase in the sale of the product, one. When there is a natural increase in the value, मैंने आपको बताया आपके capital asset की value बढ़ जाती है. Then when you purchase a machinery and there is a growth in its value, you have purchased it, let us say for 1 lakh. Now the value has increased to 2 lakh. Now you will sell it for 2 lakh. That means you are having the profit of 1 lakh. That 1 lakh will be taxed under this capital gains tax, right? So the last question is, corporation tax is imposed by, so there is one more taxation that we have been asked here, is about the corporation tax. देखिए, अगर हम corporation tax की बात करें, as I have told you, tax होते हैं जी direct taxes और indirect taxes on the basis of the liability. किसकी liability है यहाँ पे? आपकी direct, और यहाँ पे it is the indirect liability of yours, ठीक है. So corporation tax, mind you, is the part of the direct taxes. Corporation taxes are the part of what? The direct taxes, right? Corporation taxes क्या होते हैं? What do you mean by the corporates? देखिए, in simple terms, corporation are nothing but the companies. वो private entities हो सकती है. The corporations can be the public entities, right? So what the government is doing, as you know, the big companies are making the profits. वो profit बना रही है. So what government is doing? Government is levying over them the corporate tax. Corporate tax government उन पे impose कर रहा है. Let us say you have company A, that is a very big company, right? So these are first of all the rates at which you will see the corporate tax. Corporate tax government is imposing at the rate of 25%, 30%, 40%. Corporate tax एक ऐसा टैक्स है जो गवर्नमेंट की रिसीट का, कौन सी रिसीट का? रेवेन्यू रिसीट का, और उसमें भी कौन सा? टैक्स रेवेन्यू रिसीट का, बहुत बड़ा। एंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू दी टैक्सेस, डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स इज द बिगेस्ट रेवेन्यू और बिगेस्ट सोर्स ऑफ इनकम फॉर दी गवर्नमेंट। देखिए कैसे, क्योंकि उसके रेट्स भी क्या है, बहुत ज़्यादा है, राइट। और फिर सी 25% किस पे लगेगा? देखिए कोई भी कंपनीज जिनका प्रॉफिट इज अप टू 400 करोड़, दिस कंपनी इट इज, इफ देयर नॉट प्रॉफिट दी टर्नओवर, ठीक है जी, अगर उनका टर्नओवर इज लेस देन लेट अस से 400 करोड़, दैट मीन्स उन पे टैक्स कितना लगाएगी गवर्नमेंट? 25%। कौन सा टैक्स? कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स। देन इफ दे आर अर्निंग मोर देन 400 करोड़, दैट मीन्स उनका टर्नओवर कितना है? मोर देन 400 करोड़, then the corporate tax levied will be at the rate of 30%. Then 40% किस पे लगेगा? Any foreign companies। देखिए foreign companies भी तो हो सकती है that are in India. Let us take the example of the Toyota। Toyota क्या है? एक foreign company है, जापानीज कंपनी है, तो उस पर कितना लगेगा? 40%, और ये लगेगा उनके प्रॉफिट पे, नॉट ऑन दी टर्नओवर। तो टर्नओवर क्या होता है? देखिए जी, टर्नओवर इज नथिंग बट दी नेट सेल वैल्यू, नेट सेल वैल्यू, राइट, जितना आपने प्रॉफिट किया। लेट अस टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ टोयोटा ओनली। टोयोटा इज हैज प्रोड्यूस लेट अस से 10 cars in the year, right, and they have sold it for 100 rupees. So what is their turnover? 1000. That this is the turnover. This cannot be considered as the profit. Profit क्या होगा? When they will deduct what the expenses, है ना, expenses भी तो लगे होंगे उनको, जब वो expenses हम deduct कर देते हैं turnover से, then we get what? The profit. So foreign companies पे profit पे लगेगा उनके 40%, पर जो Indian companies है जिनका 400 करोड़ से कम turnover है उनको 25%, और 400 करोड़ से जिनका ज़्यादा है उनको 30% कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स लगेगा। दिस इज द मीनिंग और द डेफिनेशन ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स। देन यू हैव बीन आस्क्ड अबाउट दैट कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स इज इम्पोज, कौन इम्पोज करता है उसको? तो दैट इज इम्पोज्ड बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट। ओनली सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इज ऑथोराइज्ड टू इम्पोज द कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स, राइट। वी सी, देखिए टैक्सेस तो स्टेट्स भी लगाती है, राइट, टैक्सेस तो लोकल गवर्नमेंट्स भी लगाती है, टैक्सेस तो सेंटर भी लगाती है, राइट, बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू द कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स तो वो केवल कौन लगाता है? द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट। सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट द बजट एंड टैक्सेशन पार्ट। सो आई विल सी यू next week. So till then, keep watching and please do subscribe and share our videos. Thank you so much.